What's going on, guys? And we're back again with another episode of DigiModify. So good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is day for you. We're here with another mini podcast that we talk about anything and everything about the Digimon TCG. If you guys are excited to get some predictions out of the way, we have a couple things that we need to talk about today for today's shorter podcast, but make sure to leave a like down below if it does help us out, as well as if you guys are not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. It really does help us out extremely amount so that we can get those numbers up. If you guys are already subscribed, make sure to hit the bell notification so that you guys can get notified when a new podcast comes out. We do these every Tuesday and Thursday. Today, on this mightiest of Thursday, I want to introduce myself as I am your host, the Nerd Steve, aka Steve, whatever you want to call me. Today we're talking about what's gonna happen in the CoreTCG regionals, what's gonna happen tomorrow actually, because apparently we are getting on Friday. Apparently we're getting a ban list / restriction list that's going to pop up. So let's talk about that first. Predictions are gonna be out there. People are gonna be thinking what should be banned already. I know that in Japan they were waiting for at least the middle of it seemed like they were waiting till the middle of the month to be able to put out their ban list. And apparently, according to the Twitter post, some might affect the English meta as well. Maybe it could be an errata. Maybe it could be a lot of people are saying that the Defexmon is going to get hit. I wouldn't mind that. I think the card's just fine. Yes, the card's really, really strong. Let's not say it's not, because the card is really strong, but I think it is a card that can easily be played around, a card that people have to respect, and if they don't, they just get washed out. But I do think that the card should be at least at 2. 2 is fine. If it's at 1, people will still play the 1, and the 1 will be just fine, but I don't think it's as big as a problem as, let's say, when we had the Jet Sophie problem and the Tommy problem. The Tommy problem and the Jet Sophie problem, I think, was really there, where every top deck was running 4-ofs and it was just dominating the format. As of right now, I don't think the Fexmon is dominating the format. I think it checks the format itself, and I think it does because it can go into any deck. I think it's a nice fit into many of the decks, plus it can swing the tides to your favor. So I think it's decently not fair, but I think it's an optimal card. I think it's really good, but I don't think it's busted. That's my own opinion, though. In the comments down below, please let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on the Fexmon, as well as what do you think should be banned? I don't really think there's a lot of cards now that should be banned or put to 1. Or maybe even put to 2. I don't think that there are many cards that should be put to that. My friend wants Argomon to be more than 1. I'm like, boy, you are crazy. But no, I don't think that anything that's in 1 should not go back up to 2. I do like the fact that in these lists we are actually trying to preserve the game as much as we can by adding a restriction list and not letting decks just run wild. I think that's the best way to balance the game, especially with new power creep cards, and because we are able to use cards from the very first set, just like how it would be for Yu-Gi-Oh and for Dragon Ball Z. A lot of you can use cards from older sets for the standard format, so that's really good for us. So we're able to take advantage of cards that inherently were not good back then are kind of good now, and cards that are, like, for example, when we got introduced for the Rapidmon, Patamon with the like inheritable made Rapidmon just a 3 cost to Digivolve, because you were able to actually kill something by reducing DTP, making that Patamon a lot more viable in the yellow decks now. When we had the Jet Sophie at the Jet Sophie at 4. When we were playing like the Shangreymon, we kind of had to use the structured deck TK for like 2 costs. It slightly boosted your security, but it didn't do much besides just as a tap target for the Shangreymon whenever you brought him out. So cards that are now being used are actually helpful nowadays. So our cards that are not being used that were made back then are actually being helpful right now. So that's really helpful. Um, but on that, for the core TCG, what decks do you guys think is gonna top? We have a regional coming up in a couple days. I will be playing in it, and I am very excited to hopefully get my invite through that. I have a couple decks in line that I want to play. But what do you guys think what is the proper meta call? What do you guys think is gonna do really well? What do you guys think is gonna do really well? What are your meta calls? Right now black is looking like a really good meta call at the moment, being able to Digivolve, which back then was such a big like mechanic. That whole mechanic wasn't really that well. Like didn't for the time it came out, it wasn't doing what it needed to do. Now because we have a lot of big stack decks, big OTK decks that you rely on those level 6s a lot more, and sometimes the level 5 being able to like they evolve back to the level 5s, kind of send them back a little bit, does help out a lot against certain matchups. And black is the only color that has ever been able to do that. And with the addition of a couple cards in this meta, we have the addition of Congo, which you're able to stop the 7 play costs from attacking you directly, making your opponents not be able to go hybrid for game anymore. As well as black has a a rookie called Shikurimon that if it's ever checked in security, you're able to digivolve one guy, which is really good to be able to stop a lot of the of the case right there and then. Let's say if they hit it with the Grandis and they have a Grand Kuagumon underneath, they attack with the Grandis, hit the Shikurimon, go into the Grand Kuagumon, they're not able to unsuspend. Still get the multiple checks, but they're not able to unsuspend to go for games. So that's really good. Ultimate Flare has always been a really good card to play against, which I think this is where with the inclusion of a lot of cards as the security bombs, Commander Mon has been doing really well in the past few regional store championships. It actually won the store championship that went earlier this week. Having such great of the security bombs, and you're going to be playing against pretty much rookie rush, so you're always going to be in the defensive, and you don't want to keep getting hit. Plus, you have to be careful on how many of the Commander Mons or the Brigade are in their graveyard, just in case they go for the Darkermon for game, especially with that rush ability. So being able to rush your opponent down while they're trying to set up and stop them with heavy security bombs like Congo, Ultimate Flare, Iron Fist and Onslaught, the Shikurimons, if they think they have game and they hit a Mamemon to be able to play itself, that also hurts them really, really, really badly. So stuff like that are able to make black decks to be able to do really well in the format right now. Blockers has always been really good. For the Commander Mons, you have a level 3 blocker that's also a Commander Mon. Having the Commander Mons that float helps out a lot. With that, I don't think that deck does well, let's say, against decks like D Reaper, where you kind of have to kill them before they get all set up, and it's kind of hard for you to do that when as soon as they get to their 6 and have a gatekeeper, you kind of just outright lose. Iron Fist Onslaught is pretty much your only way out, and you cannot de-digivolve their own, so you're pretty much playing if I can dodge any D Reaper along the way, you can easily do that. But you're also playing Rookie Rush that float, so that does help you out. So what are your thoughts on that? I do want to know. As of right now, I am torn between bringing D Reaper, Imperial, Blackboard Greymon / Galmon, and D Brigade. So I have a couple decks that I do want to bring. I have thought about bringing the Medical Room on X, but after the performance that I had at the store championship, just missing one piece does hurt a lot. So that's gonna be a big no-no, and maybe I do change my mind and play it. I do not know. Depending on how I think the security is going to be against me. Do I go with the red base for like the medical room on X, or do I go for the pure the consistency for the OTK? That is gonna be the big question when the time does come. What do you guys think is gonna be the optimal top 16 for this regionals? At the moment, I have a list that I think is gonna happen. These are my predictions. I want you guys to put your predictions down below. I think for the top 16, we're gonna be getting between 3 to 6 of the medical room on X. For the past few regionals, they have been like taking the majority of the spot, claiming pretty much the best deck of the format at the moment. Probably like 2 to 4 like of the alpha months. One of the most consistent decks of the format. You have so many searchers in there. You have Black Memory Boost. You have Koji. Juji lets you draw your stuff out. You have Cool Boy to be able to get more consistency out of it. Pretty much you can add anything from your entire deck besides the options and the tamers, which is ridiculous. Plus you have I believe 8. I think you have 8 of your own searchers in Dorumon and the other Rianimon, the other level 3 that play, you're able to look at the top 3 or 5 or whatever. So you're able to get so many pieces every time that you do something. Plus your stack has such inherable protection from a lot of things, and if you run the Buff of the God, you cannot be reduced by DP either. So it makes your it makes the yellow matchup really strong. You do kind of get hindered by some floodgates, having the memory stoppers so that you can't go into your like a Rukin mode and pass the turn and then gain all that memory back. Kind of does hurt, but even then they kind of need to kill you that turn, or else you just kill the rest of the board either way. So that's fine. The rest of the top 16, I think it's gonna be 1 or 2 ups here and there. We're gonna have D Reaper, Commandermon, Imperial. Maybe 1 blue hybrid again out of nowhere. I think the blue hybrid's still a really good deck. It just needs a little time to set up. And I believe in one of the regionals, it did get a top 16 spot. It honestly depends on the pilot, as well as they kind of do rely a lot on the Magna Garurumon, which is still a really strong card. Maybe like 1 or 2 Grandis. Grandis has such great OTK potential, but the consistency does always hurt, and unlike blue, you kind of don't get the same consistency. You don't have the same amount of, what's the word for it? You have the aggression, but you don't have the consistency to keep on going with the aggression, because once your stack is gone, it's hard for you to come back. And that's what I've been seeing a lot with the Grandis, where they're a really strong deck. Do not get me wrong. They're super strong off a deck. The deck absolutely scares me every time I see it, because if they see the pieces, you're kind of like, well, do you have OTK on board? Awesome. Thanks. Game 2. Unlike for the Medical Room on X, where you have to continuously swing and hope to not die in security, with Grandis, you don't have to worry about that, because you swing once at 16k every single time for like 4 or 5 checks, and you just pray that you don't hit an option. With like the medical room on X, you need the protection so that you can swing at the security without fear. And if you lose to battle once, you can at least detach, but you can't do it again. But you can clear their 5 stack pretty easily. That's pretty much the only thing. On that, we were set like Imperial. We said the Reaper. Maybe 1 red hybrid here and there. The red hybrid Neko Teke, I still think is really strong. Everybody is trying to set up, so that really does help you. Plus your Reaper matchup is easy. It's super easy. It's on your favor a lot of times. So that's a great add into the top 16. So pretty much we might just see a splash of the 1-ups here and there for the top 16. On that, I want to know your predictions down below. If you guys can do that, that'll be awesome. We're gonna hope for the best for this weekend, and hope that you guys, those who are playing in the CoreTCG regionals this weekend, make sure to leave a like down below and let me know down below what you guys are playing. And those who did not get a chance to sign up for the regionals and you thought that you were going to play or you want to play something, what will you bring to the table? On that, have yourself a great day, guys. Have yourself a great morning, afternoon, or evening, and I'll catch you guys in the next podcast on a Tuesday. Until next time, guys. Bye.